Welcome back into our Nebraska football spring game pregame show as we get you set for kickoff in the 2023 spring game. I'm Jessica Coody, and it wouldn't be a pregame show without a Cornhusker conversation. So joining me today is the name you've been hearing all spring by this coaching staff, just raving about the performance he's done all throughout spring football. Gabe Ervin Jr., running back. Thanks for joining us.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Well, can you believe it's here?
Yeah, it's here. I mean, I've been waiting for this moment, for me to be with the team and just do what we do on the field. And it's been a journey, just ready to continue that journey and looking forward to next week for the spring game.
Is this your first spring game?
No, this is my third.
I mean that you are playing in, because you didn't play last year, right?
Yeah, I didn't play last year, but I played my true freshman year.
Okay.
So this is really my second, but third overall.
What's it like as a football player when you've been in the weight room and then you've just been practicing against each other, but to actually get back out there in front of fans again, especially Husker Nation? What's it like, that feeling leading up to this?
Well, it's just it tells you that it's football season again. Getting back in the swing of things. Football is what I love to do. Every time I get a chance to step on that field and showcase what I love to do, it's truly amazing. So I'm just blessed to actually be in this position, to just be with the coaching staff, be with the players, just the fans. It's really a truly blessing. So I'm just taking it in right now and just living the moment.
Overall, how has spring gone for you personally?
Overall, spring has been great. I'm not finna hype myself up too much. I still have a lot of work to do, a lot of things to get better in, but I'm definitely leaning into the right direction of where I want to go, on and off the field.
And what about for the offense? How much do you feel like the offense has progressed?
Offense has progressed tremendously. We're getting better each and every day. We're stacking days. We're trying to figure out stuff that we need to get better at, and just trying to be detail oriented, in everything that we do. And I love this offense. This is what I love to do, So I'm just ready to take off in it.
You had told me back when spring started that this is probably the best you've ever felt. When you come off an ACL injury, how long does it take to actually feel, I mean, you can say you're back and you're released and you feel pretty good, but to actually be in full game shape, how long did that take you? Yeah,
it was a patellar tendon injury. It wasn't an ACL, but it really took a minute. It wasn't an easy process. It was a year and a half almost. Last year, going into fall camp, I was kind of mediocre, not all the way there yet, but still trying to, do what I do because, I just my passion for the game. I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep on going. But, it wasn't all the way there yet, and I had to see that for myself, the results that was going on the field. But as I just started to develop that process with my knee and started to get my quad stronger and my lower body stronger and everything else started to develop with that also, I just felt amazing. When I fell down into my frame after the last season, the winter was really important for me. I had to take it serious. I had to, build into my frame even more and focus on things that I needed to really work on. And that was my lower body and my quads. And once I really started to attack that, I started to see results and I started to feel, myself again, like my old self.
Was there a moment, because, I mean, you're having such a great freshman year and then you go down, I mean, was there a moment that you ever thought, gosh, how am I going to get back?
Yeah, that fourth game of the season as a true freshman with Oklahoma, I was having a really good game as a true freshman, just starting to get in my groove, starting to feel like high school again, just moving out there, starting to get more comfortable. And my knee gave out, and I've been battling tendonitis since high school, since junior year of high school, and I just been dealing with it, playing on it. And it went out that fourth game of the season against Oklahoma my true freshman year, and I was devastated. I was really devastated because, for one, I have so much love and passion for the game, and all of that was taken away from me at that split given moment. And, my friend Marquise Buford Jr., he came up to me and he told me one thing that I'll never forget, and he said, God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers, and that's what's just going to stick with me forever. And at that given moment, that kind of changed me because he went through a similar thing too, and he was doing his thing, and I just got hurt. And, that just stuck with me forever, and I just attacked rehab like I never attacked anything else. And I'm just, so ready, so driven for the season. I want it so bad. So I'm just going to, take it day by day and just live every moment that I have, because you never know when it's going to, like, disappear from you.
Awesome words. Well, you go back to last year, and a lot of people ask a lot of the current players, what made you believe in the staff? Why did you want to stick around when the coaching staff changed? But this happened to you twice. The original running back coach, Ryan Held, that recruited you. So what has kept you here this whole time? What's kept you stuck here at Nebraska?
I really had to believe, everything happens for a reason, and trust people. This staff really has some experience, with not just football, but just like, with people in general. They have, NFL experience, and they have, like, I want to lean on this staff. I want to look up to this staff, because I believe that this staff will really get me where I really need to go. And I feel like, they don't only teach you about football, but they teach you about being a better man, and that's what all that matters. There's a life outside of football, after you're done with football. And I feel like they're not only teaching you to be a football player, but teaching you to be a great, husband one day, a man. They teach you so much more details than what it is. And it takes you so much far, Like, I want to look up to the staff in so many different ways. I trust the staff, and I trust the staff to take me where I need to go and develop me to be the man that I want to be one day. And that's what made me stay, and I'm loving it. I love this staff. I love Coach Rule, Coach E.J. Barthel. That's my dude. And I'm just willing to do everything it takes to make Nebraska great.
Was there a moment when it clicked that you're like, okay, I believe, or was it a process? Like, what was, because, from the beginning, they've been talking about how you've attacked things and you've been bought in. But, when the change happens in November or late December or in December and the coaches start rolling in, was there a moment, or was it anything in particular that made you believe?
I'm not going to lie. At first, not knowing who was going to come in, obviously I had some doubts and concerns and, like, what's going to happen. I'm a talented player, and I know that, and I want to, like, pursue my dreams and goals the right way. And, once I, saw them come in, I did some research, see how they were, see what type of, team they were, offensive side. And I just liked it. I could relate to it, and I could really feel that this thing was gonna, be where I wanted it to be. And I trusted it. I trusted it, and I'm glad I trusted it.
Tell us about E.J. Barthel. You just said he's your guy, and if fans are listening in, what's it like being in the room with him, being out on the field with him?
Man, E.J. Barthel, he's kind of like my style of play. He's that, that lion mentality. He's really gritty, and he really has a passion for running back, and that's what I like. He really knows what he's doing. He's very precise in what he does. Smooth dude, real smooth dude, and that's what I like about him. He's gonna, be a straight shooter. He's going to tell you how it is, tell you what you did wrong, but he's also going to love you up and coach you the way you need to be coached, and that's all that it needs to be.
I've talked about this since he was hired, and I ran across a quote that stuck with me about, he talks about with the running back, you got to be the ultimate teammate, and you got to be a guy that does everything. You're on special teams and all these different things that you do, and it's not just taking the football and running it into the end zone, right? So an all-around running back. What's the area do you feel like that you should focus on the most if you're talking about all the different areas of being a great running back that you feel like you should focus on and improve on?
I really need to improve on a lot of things, like, catching out the backfield, route running, different things. There's a lot of things that I can improve on, ball security. There's a lot of things, but, being with Coach E.J. Barthel, he brings all those things to the table that you can work on. He doesn't just focus on running the ball. You have to protect the ball. You have to, catch the ball. You have to, run routes well. There's a lot of different things that it takes to be, an elite back. And he wants all of us to be elite. And that's what I like about him. He holds all of us to the same standard, and that's what it needs to be.
Chatting with running back Gabe Ervin Jr., from the start, even, from the second I got here a couple years ago, everybody has talked about your work ethic and that you take care of your business. When you were a true freshman, you didn't act like a true freshman. Where does that come from, that work ethic, that doing everything to the full extent of your ability? Really, I was raised that way. My dad and my mom, they're tremendous parents. They raised me to be, the man I am today. You have to work for everything you get. It's not finna just be handed to you. You really have to, step outside your comfort zone and get what you don't think you can get. And that's what they drilled in my brain since I was a little kid. And that's what I've been, taking and using,
of what I'm doing now. And also my high school. My high school had that, line mentality that Coach Rule, implements in his team. My high school drilled that into me. So I've been blessed, with a good path, down my life that, that showed me the things to be great, and it showed me, how to like really want it. You really have to want it and love it to like, be successful at it. So that's what I've been taking, my whole life, and I'm just continuing to taking it.
Not just you, but there's been a few players that have talked about that. Heinrich Harburg said the same thing about, they appreciate and reward guys that get in there and work hard. And I mean, the staff, they're grinders, and they've said that from the start, right? So what does that mean to you guys as players, that they appreciate and reward and recognize those guys that are getting in there and grinding to the full extent?
I really appreciate that because, for one, if you work hard, you should get rewarded for it because you work hard for it, Whatever you work for, you should get. You feel me? You have to, want it and work so bad, to the point where you just like, you're going to get it. And that's what this staff, really invests. They really, treat the people that really work hard because, some people don't work hard. Some people don't know what it takes to work hard. So I feel like, the people that really work hard and really sacrifice the things that, that to get it, I feel like they should be rewarded for it and, they should be taken account for it.
Well, tell us about the offensive line. What do they look like this spring?
Man, this offensive line, it's coming along. I love it. I love how, I feel like the offense that we're running, it puts them in this position to like, take off, do what they do. And each and every day, we're getting together, as an offense and trying to figure out this thing. And this offense line just like, they're so detailed, structured, and I love it because they don't leave any man behind. They're really a pipeline, and that's what it should take. They really trust one another, and they're going to follow each other, and that's just going to translate to the field, and then we're going to be great. We just got to keep on stacking days and keep on developing, what this team wants to be when it comes fall.
For an offensive line, changing position coaches, how much does it just take time for that position group to really gel and come together?
Offensive line is, it's so hard. They have to figure out different fronts and different switches and whatever, so it takes a minute to progress, but they work at it each and every day. They progress at it each and every day. Coach Raiola holds those guys to like the most up standard I've ever seen. He really stays on those guys, and that's just going to make him better. He really loves those guys, and he really leans on those guys, and that's just going to take the offensive line where it needs to be, and I love the offensive line, and I always buddy him up, off the field because, those are boys that's going to be blocking for me in the fall.
You've obviously talked about Coach Barthel, Coach Rule, but outside of that, and I know you love this whole coaching staff, is there a coach that you've really connected with?
I connected with Coach Coop, the DB coach. Coach Coop, he's been in the game, the NFL game too for a long time. So he's seen, a lot of talent in NFL people, and, he holds me to a high standard as well. He's been that kind of, coach that, has been looking out for me, and I really appreciate that. So, we've really connected and built a good relationship.
At this point, I know, again, it's still going to be installed. You guys have a lot of work to do, but at this point, how would you describe Coach Satterfield's offense?
Coach Satterfield offense, I feel like it's a regular offense. We're going to run the ball, we're going to also throw the ball, and we're really, focusing on that, line mentality every time we touch the field. We're looking to dominate anybody that's in front of us, and we're looking to just stack days on our offense and just get better and on our schemes. And I feel like we're going to do some really good things in the fall.
Give us a name. Offense, first we'll start with offense, that Husker fans should look out for today in the spring game that could be making some big plays.
Say that again? A
name on offense that could be making some plays for you guys on offense. Not yourself, but somebody else that Husker fans can watch out for.
A name on offense. I feel like the Husker fans should watch out for, let's see. I feel like my man Billy Kemp. Billy Kemp, the wide receiver. I feel like that dude's special, man. He's quick, he's really agile. I feel like he's gonna do some really good things come in the spring game.
Is he scoring the first touchdown?
I really don't know who's scoring the first touchdown. I really don't know who's scoring the first touchdown.
You're supposed to say I'm scoring the first touchdown.
Yeah. I'm definitely scoring the first touchdown if I get the chance to.
What about defense? Who has impressed you? One guy that's really stood out to you on the defense that you're going up against every day?
I'll say Miles Farmer is a guy, that when I go up against, I'm really have to come with that, ish. Miles Farmer is a really physical, safety that we meet all the time. And MJ Sherman, that's a dude, man. That's a freak right there. So I'm gonna really have to, put my power when I come against him. But there's a lot of guys. Chief Borders, we have a lot of guys on defense that can make explosive plays. I feel really good about our defense. Malcolm's a good guy on the other end. Quinn Newsom. We have a lot of guys. Our defense. They really come ready to play. When it's time.
What's the battles been like between the offense and defense? Because Coach Rule always talks about how you don't want one side of the ball winning every day, but I'm sure you guys got to walk off the field pretty ticked off if you don't win the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's be battles, one time, one day defense will have a good day, one day offense will have a good day. We have our battles here and there, but, we're just making each other better at the end of the day. We're just competing, with one another and just like, striving to be great.
And I know you got to take care of business in the spring game, but after the spring game is done, what's the goal for you personally and then for the rest of the offense?
The goal for me personally after the spring game is just to, keep on developing my body, staying in shape, remaining healthy. That's the number one thing is remaining healthy and just focusing on myself, focusing on my weaknesses that I need to like strengthen in the game. And as an offense, just like, to click with one another, find that, that touch with one another, that connection. And I feel like that connection is going to separate us from, winning so many games than losing.
And then just, again, I was telling you, before we started recording that you were a guy that the coaching staff wanted to speak today, but also really since they got here, you've been a guy that they put out there. What has that meant to you to be a leader, to be a guy that they look to be a spokesperson for this program?
I take that, with a grain of salt. I feel like, I want to be that leader of the team. I've always wanted to be that leader, and now it's the time to be that leader. I'm just going to, take off from it. All my life I wanted to be a leader for, a professional college team, if not, NFL when I go. I'm just got to, hold up to that standard and just, compel others. We talked about, compel yesterday, bring others with you. And I'm just going to bring everybody with me, man, because I want Nebraska to be so great. I want us to win so many games in the fall. We will win so many games. And when that happens, we just have to, bring one another. It's not going to happen just me. It's going to be the whole team, everybody. And we're going to fight like brothers on that field.
1% better every day. That's something that everybody says, and I know that's been a motto. But what goes into that? How do you get 1% better every day? Every
day you have to, put, this amount of work in the bucket. You have to, drop something in the bucket each and every day. You do a workout. What are you going to do? What's next? What are you going to do after? You have to figure out things that you have to go extra mile in everything you do. Just one better. When you leave the stadium after the end of the day, you have to ask yourself one question, and that's did you get 1% better? And, that's what a lot of our teammates ask, one another. Did you get 1% better today when you leave that stadium? And if that answer is yes, then we have nothing but to grow as a team.
Well, let's go get 1% better today at the spring game.
Yes, ma'am.
Probably at this point, going to have over 60,000 people out there. How excited are you guys for that?
Excited. I'm excited to see the fans. I love Memorial Stadium. I feel like when I see that, I see home. You feel me? So I just love seeing the fans out there, just cheering us on. And I'm just ready to put on a show for them.
All right, Gabe Ervin Jr., appreciate your time. Best of luck today.
Thank you.